This is the place for sports opinions collide. Dead in sports. I'm your host, Kenneth B. Inch. Joining me on the show is Nick, Shelton, and Spike.
What up?
What's happening?
What's going on?
The self-proclaimed my takes are better than everybody else's takes when it comes to basketball.
I watch all the basketball.
Yeah,
all the basketball.
He informs
He was quick with that. Yeah, he was quick with that.
He informed. We don't come together to give y'all opinions. We come together to listen to FIFA. That's it.
During basketball season, it's the FIFA show.
He's gonna be a little late tonight, right? Yeah,
That's how I know you don't watch ball. That's how I know.
Yeah, that was hilarious. And then,
Hey, he was confident, bro.
He always is. I be trying to tell y'all. I was like, bro, this nigga be saying the same shit every season, and he come back never picking nobody right.
And then he posted what we put, so he had to go back and watch to get it to make sure. I was like, God.
Just to end up being just as wrong as the rest of them.
I was gonna say he was just as wrong as us.
That was Spike the only one that got the West right.
Yeah.
And I told him, Shelton, I said the Warriors are. I said the Warriors are not in yet, people. You should wait until the verdict is decided. But anyway,
because nobody would have said anything. Yeah, nobody would have said that.
But he'll be here to bless us with his basketball knowledge. But before we get into that, man, we got some NFL talk, and then we're going to talk about, of course, catching with everything that went down with the NBA over this past weekend. Now that the playoffs are officially here, but as we always do, man, you know, we like to start off with people that did good or people that did bad. So we got a performance of the week, which is done by none other than Nikki. Well, it's just Nick now.
I got water in here now, kid. It ain't loose, but I am gonna talk like a drunk man because I'm calling out the Charlotte Hornets and the Golden State Warriors as worst performance of the week. Sean, you already knew I had to. Again, we spent way too much time. By we, I'm talking about media in general. We spent way too much time after Charlotte beat the Miami Heat when fucking LaMelo had to take out fucking Bam, which took out 86 points on the Heat alone. He had to take him out just to beat him in overtime. And then we see Golden State, Steph Curry put on the game of his life for this season against the Clippers. Had Steve Kerr gassing up the press conference talking about some, y'all niggas say y'all ain't want us to start Steph for the rest of the year. Let him take the year off. Nah, he knocked on wood and everything talking about some, yeah, that's why we have him on here. That's what he is. He's a gamer. Just to get their ass busted by Phoenix the next night. And then Charlotte got their doors blown off by our Orlando Magic team that we're going to talk about a little bit later. We probably all overlooked them. But no, worst performance of the week. Had both of these teams hyped up like they was about to do some shit. Both of them didn't even make the fucking playoffs. Golden State got a losing record. Golden State lost so bad, Steve Kerr said, I'm out. I'm gone. Like, I'm going to go ahead and bow out because I can't even get us in the playoffs no more with the greatest shooter of all time. So, yes, that's the worst performance of the week. LaMelo got a lot of growing up to do. He is not mature yet. That's why I was arguing with y'all, especially with FIFA, about where he is and how he his role on the team. Like, I know he is their best player, but again, I feel like the Con Knipple shit is what really projected them or pushed them forward this season more so than him, because looking at him when the lights was bright, he still looks like a goofball. So, yes, those are the worst performances of the week.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, to win that way, I think, you know, we kind of, a few of us said this in the chat, but that win against Miami, they thought they were in. It was a great win, you know, a lot of adversity, tough playoff, atmosphere. But it's just one game and you ain't in yet. And, you know, they hopefully may have learned something. And Khan just couldn't get anything going. And LaMelo doesn't appear to be in a position where he can just carry a team. As far as being the facilitator, running the offense, getting the people in spots, picking his spots, et cetera, et cetera. When the unit is running really, really good, he's good at that because he can play the game. It's not really about whether or not he can play or not. It's evident that he can, but now it's everything else that comes with that. And now it's trying to see what happens next season because as once people started to realize that Hornets were winning games and they started to take them a little bit serious, those games got a little bit tougher. And to lose to Orlando, of all teams who've been up and down all season, really was abomination. And I it's funny because I watched the game and put in the chat. I say either the Hornets are going to blow out Orlando or Banchero is going to go the fuck off, and because he played so poorly. And he did. Wagner got it, and everybody just kind of got off. So that's them. The future should still be bright, but if they get off, they have to get off to a good start in that season. We'll see what they do in the offseason. As for the Warriors, they had a losing record. I think they were the first team with a losing record to win a play-in game or something like that. They were not a good team, but we saw a great Hall of Fame player do what he does to at least get them a chance to get there, and he just didn't have anything left in that game. He was flat out awful. So I enjoyed just the performance that he put on. It was fun to watch. And when we watch basketball, when we watch superstars, that's the shit that we be looking for. It's just, but everybody else had an out-of-body experience too. Al Horford was hitting shit left to right. Was hitting shit left to right. They just got hot, at the right time, and Kawhi and Tyloo just shit the bed. Kawhi got completely shut down. The second half. Even Dre got hot defensively, and they couldn't do shit else. So, and then we saw what the real Warriors team was like, in the next game, and it tells you everything you need to know to lose to freaking Phoenix,
which was crazy. Yeah,
which means they shouldn't have gotten in the playoffs because they can do that once every 3 nights or 4 nights. So they would have got swept anyway if they had made it to the playoffs. We saw they couldn't do it in a 3-day span twice. I think that one game took everything out of it.
It did, and they were already thin in their lineup as far as being short on players that can actually do anything. So it would take a heroic effort for Steph every night to even make an impact. And if you let up this much, it's over with. As far as the Charlotte thing goes, I said it early, Ken. I was trying to say, I said, if I was a betting man, I would have bet that way because they had beat Orlando like the last 3 times by 30 or 2 times by 30, something crazy like that. I said, but that's how basketball goes, man. You get ready for that one game, and that was Orlando's championship, and Charlotte was just not ready to play. They weren't. They came out flat and stayed flat. Now, the one thing I did like as a Hornets fan, I felt good at the end to hear everybody talk and say what they needed to work on. I heard them all encouraged, which is, it's a little different sign. So I felt good about that. I felt good. You got to, Lou. Lou, you got to take. When you got a young roster, Lou, you got to take that, especially when nobody expects you to be there. So they're a couple pieces away, man. They got the 14th and 18th picks right now, and they're talking about trying to move up maybe. So we'll see what they do with it, but they got to build on this. They have to. So Golden State, it's time to blow it up.
Kerr, he already said he's not coming back, right?
Yeah,
they're stating it's likely he's not coming back.
Yeah, and I think they're gonna get Golden to replace him. I think.
Who is Golden?
I think it's Ty Golden from Florida, University of Florida. Yeah.
The University of Florida.
Yeah.
They need to get rid of Curry too. Get rid of Curry and get rid of Draymond.
You don't think Billy Donovan's a good fit for them?
Billy Donovan ain't shit, bro.
Yeah, but
you don't think so?
I hate Billy Donovan, but not as the person, but as his coaching, whatever they say he did. He was the reason. It's my hatred started him when he was with OKC with Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook, and he ain't do shit with them, bro. He did not do shit.
Go to the finals?
No, that was with Scott Styles. That's when they went to the finals. After he left, he got him after that, and he ain't do shit with him. The closest I think they got was when Durant and them lost to Golden State, and then the year later, that offseason, that's when Durant went to Golden State. I think that was the closest that they could have ever done with him, but he's just been a bullshit ass coach, and he's been with Chicago for the last 6 years that no one thought about. We haven't even thought about a Chicago head coach since Tom Thibodeau.
I mean, I don't think that's his fault. I think that's Chicago though. Like they got bad management.
Bro, you the head coach. You getting paid millions of dollars to coach, Lou. Yeah. So if you ain't doing shit in 6 years, I'm sorry, bro. Yeah. That's on you too.
Yeah.
But nah, I'm fine. I'm fine with they can get anybody to coach and go to state. They had Steve Kerr. You know what I'm saying?
You couldn't. You can't replace him with anybody though, because Steph is not gonna be.
Listen, bro.
And to be honest, they can't be bad. Like they need somebody that can come in and be good because they just got their new stadium. They pay the highest luxury tax in the league. Like they
are going to be bad. Lou. They've been bad. What are you talking about?
This is bad. This is playing. They can't be worse than this.
Bro,
they can't bring nobody can do worse than this.
The Golden State Warriors got all the records for the play-in. That's the greatest
they're
thing.
Not good.
Bro, if they come out here and start going,
he was like 1-3 in play-in games.
What'd you say, Lou?
If they start coming out here going 29-53 and 30-52 or whatever, like that ain't gonna work.
That's their future, bro. That's their future. Their franchise. The franchise does not have the piece, like, unless they get Giannis, and even if they do get Giannis, that just guarantees they're going to be in the play-in once again. But I don't think they have the assets to get Giannis. I don't think they have anything. What does their future look like? Their future looks like beating the Clippers in a play-in and everybody doing a hoopla about it. That's it. They're not competing for shit.
They had an opportunity, like we talked about way back then. They had an opportunity to set up for the future. When you had the draft pick of Wiseman, who we ain't talking about Wiseman being that, but he was never developed to be that. You had Kuminga, who never got to be that. You got Jordan Poole, who never got to be that. All these players, Moody, who never got the opportunity to be the next in line to step up. The Warriors were set up like none other because you had a starting five that was ready, and you had the next five that was ready to take over, but they blew it all, and it's not there anymore. So at this point, they're going to have to suffer. They're going to take a step back, which is far.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, that's enough on losers.
Now at McDonald's, a sausage McMuffin is only $1.50. So stop dreaming about breakfast sausage and go get it. Get more value on the under $3 menu.
Limited time only. Prices and participation may vary. Prices may be higher for delivery.
Let's move on this is a hell of a transition from losers to the Bengals.
All right, Ken, don't do that. That's not what's written. Read what's written. I saw this is why we can't go national.
From losers to lost.
Losing to losers.
Lou, you can't talk, nigga.
Oh man,
I was alive for those Super Bowls. Yeah, so I can talk.
Okay. Before we dive into our reactions to the first round of the 2026 NBA playoffs, there was some breaking NFL news this past Saturday evening. Reports indicated that the New York Giants and the Cincinnati Bengals agreed to a blockbuster trade that sends Pro Bowl defensive tackle Dexter Lawrence to the Bengals. In exchange, Cincinnati is sending his first round number 10 overall pick in this year's draft to New York. Who do you all think won this trade? Is it now Super Bowl or bust for Joe Burrow and the Bengals this upcoming season?
I think it was a even trade because from the Bengals standpoint, you get to replace Hendrickson. You paying under market value for the D tackle that you got because he's worth more than $28 million in today's market. It's only a 1-year extension. You have a history of drafting terribly other than Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. You can't find anybody anyway, so that 10 pick was probably going to be a bust. So they win. And then with the Giants, you now have 2 picks, I feel like in the top 20 at least. You got 2 picks in the top 20.
2 picks in the top 10.
Top 10.
Yeah, so even better. So you have one of the best defensive lines in football. You have a quarterback who you think gonna be your future. You got a brand new coach. Now I get to add 2 talented pieces, whether it be on defense or offense, because they can get Caleb probably now to sew up their back end, and they got that fierce front four. They got Scatterboo. They can even have a luxury pick and go thunder and lightning and get dude from Notre Dame. Yeah, like there's a lot that they can do too. So I think this was both of them break even and win this trade.
Go ahead, Sheldon.
I look at it. I look at it from the Bengals standpoint as a loss. I do like Lawrence. I really do. But if you're trying to build for your future, and we know that the Bengals aren't really trying to pay anybody. We know how they do with money. Long term, that 10th pick could have been more valuable than bringing in Lawrence, because you're going to have to pay him. And when it comes time to pay, we know historically they don't want to pay him. That's the whole thing that they just had with Hendrickson in itself. And as far as the last part of that question, the Super Bowl or bust, was that it?
Who?
Mm-hmm. The Bengals. That's serious?
That was part of the question. I didn't hear that.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely not. This team should be focused on a rebuild at this point, because you're missing right. They didn't take an answer. They are so far away from playoff contention. Making the playoffs from a wild card perspective should be the goal at this point for this team. You have too many holes to be thinking about Super Bowl. It's just nowhere near in the cards for this team to make the Super Bowl.
You said they should have kept that 10th pick and it could have possibly been something.
Yes.
Over the last 10 years, the only 2 good first-round draft picks they've had were Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. So they 2 for 10. So most likely that pick wasn't going to be shit if they had it. The Giants might make it do something. They ain't going to do nothing with it.
I agree, but the thing of it is you got to start trying to compile some talent. And what they did was traded a pick
the
for
know-how in the front office to get the talent. They got lucky with Burrow, and then Burrow told them to draft Chase, and them the only 2 draft picks that they had. So really only 1, because Burrow drafted Jamar Chase.
They could do
they
mock draft.
They won for 9
pick.
out of 10. They won right. So no.
But like I said, because they don't want to pay anybody, I think this speeds up their timeline by bringing in Lawrence, and there's no need for that. I don't think he's the answer to all their problems. So in saying that you're too far away, that play should be reserved for a team like the Chiefs, or a team that's like have been there or close to being there. Even the Chiefs, to put some talent beside Chris Jones, somebody who is close.
Too far away.
Yeah, the Bengals are too far away to be bringing in a player like that.
This trade made a lot of sense to me, and there's a reason why. Who was the defensive tackle they drafted last year?
It was
glad you asked, kid. I got the picks pulled up. Shamar Stewart.
That was
the DN. Yeah, that's the DN.
Defensive end.
Okay, well, all right. Was he good? Can he play?
Stewart?
He got hurt 7 games in.
No, that's a long answer for no. And Amarius Mims is who they drafted before that, and Miles Murphy before that, and Dax Hill before that. Any of those 5 players good?
Mims is a good offensive lineman.
Okay.
Either way it goes, they whiffed apparently, and also by things that happened in the media, by even some of Nick's commentary around that time, they just whiffed on that pick. They reached and didn't get it, didn't do a good job at it. We know one thing is Dexter Lawrence can play, and I think they already re-upped him or did something with him with his contract, so I think they may be good there. So that's why I think it makes sense to me with everything that went down last year. To answer the second part of the question, for me, it's Super Bowl or bust every year when it comes to this. Now, whether they do it or not, that's a whole other matter. But when you got a Super Bowl caliber quarterback like Joe Burrow, who's played in a Super Bowl, who was really close to winning a Super Bowl, then yes, the expectations should be Super Bowl or bust. And then he's held to that standard. We can look at the reasons why it didn't happen, him getting hurt or always staying hurt and the defense, whatever. But I don't think we should let him off the hook for that. I think we should critique and grade him accordingly. And I think when you make a move like this, that they're thinking the same thing. Their defense has been bad for the most part for the last couple of years. There's been a complaint that I think Nick has been saying, if I remember correctly. So, yeah, it makes sense. Shore up the defense. You get a guy up front. You control the trenches. And then Joe Burrow got to go do what he needs to do. He got to go out and handle his business. So at that point, it's on him. But, yeah, I think it's Super Bowl or bust every year with him. Got to be.
I heard a lot of things I didn't like. There was a few things that I did like.
All the truth you heard, though.
I none of it was really true. I'll start off with Shelton's comments about them being cheap. That is one of the most false narratives. And Ken, I always try to call out certain organizations that be doing cheap shit that they don't really paint as cheap, i.e. Cowboys. y'all gave up Michael Parsons because y'all so cheap. The owner went to the player and said, "Hey, nigga, I'll give you $50." He's like,
the Bengals are the cheapest franchise in football.
That was a sidebar. That's the reason why I bring that up is because when it's time to pay people that deserve to be paid, we pay them easy. Meaning quarterbacks and wide receivers is what mostly this team is really known for. Going back to Carson Palmer to Andy Dalton, now to Joe Burrow, they've always paid their quarterbacks. Going back from Chad Ochocinco to AJ Green to Jamar Chase, they always pay their wide receivers. Now you're seeing that they're paying other positions that they value, that they see a value. It was a mistake to let Jesse Bates go for money, but that was a gamble that they took because if we sign Jesse Bates, we may not still have Higgins and Chase as a duo. So some people may say it should have been broken up or not. But nonetheless, I'm trying to get to the point of we pay people. Dexter Lawrence was looking for a contract extension. He got that as soon as he touched down in Cincinnati. He's already got 2 years left on his deal. They added an extra year, so it's a 3-year deal. He's 27, 28. So by the time he's 31 or whatever, where he's looking for a next deal, that's their Super Bowl window that the Bengals are looking at. So we'll address that at that point. As far as the trade itself, I think it is a win-win. I've been sitting on this thought for a while, like who really got the better end of the stick. But right now, the Bengals, like Ken said, feel like they have a Super Bowl caliber. They know they have a Super Bowl caliber because he took them to the Super Bowl. Quarterback, they say, like, we have to win now. He's been hurt last couple years in his prime, so it's like we got to utilize the time that we have now. To Lou's point, I've been looking at their draft picks since I was born. So I know what this last decade has been, especially this last few years with Burrow, where they've literally spent every first-round pick outside of Amarius Mims on defense, whether it's a corner like DJ Turner or Dax Hill, to Miles Murphy, to Shamar Stewart. Like they've spent a lot of money and resources on defense, and it has not paid out at all. So them looking at the 10th pick in this draft, where basically it's a 9-player draft, especially when you talk about the first round. You can probably find some talent elsewhere, but it's a 9-player draft as far as the niggas you really want. They're at 10. That's like we can't pick we haven't been able to pick a good pick. So let's give it up to get somebody that's a guarantee. Now, Dexter Lawrence was coming off of a bad year last year with the Giants, but he's a proven talent. He's an all-pro. So he's going to help out with a double team in the trenches to make sure that we can get a better run game because, again, the defense is shitty. So him being on the team makes it better. I think it's a fair trade. I think the Super Bowl or bust thing is true for him, Josh Allen, and Lamar. I have them all on the same playing field as far as, like, when they don't make it to the Super Bowl, we should have questions why, because they're all too talented for that. So, yeah, I'm expecting that this season. The Bengals have to go to a Super Bowl this year, or at least compete deep in the playoffs. If they miss the playoffs all again, it's going to be hell in Cincinnati.
You're going to be the Hellraiser?
He more likely.
I'm going to be the Hellraiser, too. I'm be like, get T. Higgins out of here.
Joe Burrow, he more likely to get hurt than go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
You can say the same thing about Lamar.
Lamar?
Him and Lamar have missed the same amount of games as quiet as is kept.
Yeah.
You're right.
Nick, I think you just have it with this trade because it's going from one of your teams to the other. That's why I think you.
I wasn't mad at it. You know what I'm saying? This is like if Donovan Mitchell went to the Knicks. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I wasn't really mad at it. And the one thing I'm going off of is the track record, because the last time they made a trade between the Giants and the Bengals, that is what brought BJ Hill to the Bengals on their Super Bowl run. So it's like, there's good karma trading with the Giants. I just think this is about as even as you can get as a trade. Now, this is pressure for the Giants, so if we moving on to them, because this is setting up your future from last year to this year. Last year with Jackson Dart, Abdul Carter. Now this year you can possibly get Sonny Skiles, Caleb Downs, Jeremiah Love, the Tate boy, the wide receiver. Like, you can get two of them. Two of the top 5 players in this draft, you're going to get 2 of them.
Yeah.
They have to pan out. You know what I'm saying? Still. So, like, these picks is like, you doing all these moves. In the next 3 years, the Giants should be competing in that NFC East for sure.
Correct.
What do you think? You think that they should get somebody to go on the other side of Neighbors? Or you would go defense?
I think you can't go wrong. Like if you asking me, I can see them going double offense, like going for an offensive lineman and trying to get Tate or whatever. Or I can see
they need some talent in their defensive backfield. Yeah. So I could see going to Downs, and I would go because
I would go Styles though. I would go Styles.
I would go Styles and Downs.
If Styles is there,
you already. Oh, well, they did lose Lawrence, but I was going to say you already got Abdul Carter, you already got Brown, and it's one more person on that line that's good.
Burns,
who's like
Brian Burns.
Yeah, Brian Burns.
Yeah, you got Burns, and you got
Kayvon Thibodeau.
Carter, and you got Thibodeau. That's what I'm saying. Why? I mean, you can, but that's really a luxury. I would get somebody on offense to see is Jackson Dart really that dude. Whether it be another wide receiver to go with Neighbors, whether it be Love from Notre Dame. I want to see if I'm giving you weapons, like what you gonna be able to do with it. I need to know that now.
But you also are looking at a hardball offense, though, Lou. So I can see them going.
One of the reasons why too.
No, but I'm saying he's just gonna go like he got Isaiah Likely there. You got Malik Neighbors. If you draft Jeremiah Love and, who's basically a wide receiver too, at least what people are talking about in his draft portfolio is like he's a running back, but he also can catch out of the backfield. I'm trying to think who's
Neighbors. If you got Love and Neighbors on the field at the same time, you got a problem.
That's a dangerous offense already. You don't need a wide receiver. Yeah, so I think I think he's more likely to draft Jeremiah Love than the kid from Ohio State. Either way, though, I think the Giants can do no wrong in this draft. However, because that's my thought, they have to get the right picks.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't have a bust when you had 2 top 10 picks.
That's true.
Over the last 2 years. Because then they have Abdul Carter and didn't they have 2 first-round picks last year?
Yeah, they traded up to get Jackson Dart. Yeah. So, they did.
Uh-huh.
But both of them was like they showed promise. It wasn't like they were shitty. Yeah. It was just like was injuries played a part.
I'm not. Yeah, you're right. It ain't. We don't know that they were bad or good picks yet. I think they both are
this season.
Promise, as you said.
Yeah, it's to be determined. This is the year.
Yeah, facts. But adding 2 more top 10 picks to that, like you ought to be cooking with hot grease. And you got a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
I'm wondering if they're gonna. I'm thinking they're gonna move on from Thibodeau too. I'm thinking they're gonna replace him.
They talked about trading him, but they were saying like because they already made a trade to get into the top 10, they may not want to. Because not because of that. It was because they lost Lawrence. Like, yeah, because they lost him. It's like, do you want to like their D line was supposed to be what really sells tickets, But like if you start taking pieces away from that, that doesn't really help your defense either.
But I just look at it like, and it's nothing like 3 great defensive ends. But you have that position solidified. It'll be different if you could climb back in the first and get rid, or even the second round and trade him out and get another talent in for a different position. That would make sense to me because you got bookends in Brian Burns and the rookie. What's his name?
Abdul Carter.
Carter, yes. So those are your defensive ends of the future and present, if you ask me. So Thibodeau's the odd man out because his contract is due up. I think he's due this year. So it's saying that I would trade him and see what I could get for him at this point. Because he's not going to be a substantial part this particular season. So And there's teams out there with needs at that position. So,
but the thing is, when he first his rookie year, he had like damn near 12 sacks, and like it just hasn't been the same since.
Yeah.
So I'm just, but
And
like, so like,
defense, it's a defense where you can play all three of them together consistently too.
They tried that last year. They tried it last year at times, and I don't think it had a lot of success. It worked sometimes, but
it was effective.
It didn't have a lot of success.
I saw twice against. It was effective as far as being twice against the Cowboys. In the other game, that they were able to get pressure on the quarterback last year.
Which is why I think Sonny Styles is going to be their fifth pick, like they first of the two that they can get.
Yeah,
I think excessive though.
But you sure up that whole front seven.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You don't have to worry about
that. Where are you playing Styles at? Are you playing him on the defensive line or linebacker?
No, linebacker, but he can also play. He can also play safety too, because he was a safety that went to linebacker. So like he can help cover. So if you got him and then Caleb Downs falls to you too, that you got
to me that's it.
You got Ray Lewis and Ed Reed 2027.
To me, that's what that is. That would be all time for me. And then they're familiar with each other. I think that'll be set in stone. Like I said, that's the next 10 years.
But then at the same time, Jeremiah Love with Jackson Dart, bro, because Scatterboo ain't shit. Scatterboo's gonna be in concussion protocol permanently in 2 seasons.
He'll good break it for your main back.
Well,
break back.
In when the Tennessee picked before them, don't they?
Yeah, they picked it right before.
I think Jeremiah. They're gonna pick Jeremiah Love. It's who I think they will pick. We'll see,
but they don't have no O line. I would think you would go with O line.
I would think so too, but at the same time, as talent, that's best available.
They are opening. Yeah, they opening a new stadium up next year too.
Yeah,
so they might go for the glory.
Right, and you can get some offensive linemen later in that second round, third round that are just as effective.
Yeah, I mean, Love wouldn't be a crazy pick for this. I know a couple weeks ago I thought it would be an insane pick, but knowing that they opening the new stadium up, they probably want somebody to put beside Cam Ward that they can market and get out there and put on tickets. Love gonna have some explosive plays next year.
And on top of that,
that's undeniable. They may not be good, but he's gonna have some plays that you can put on the highlight reel at the end of the year.
And on top of that, Tennessee has no weapons. They have absolutely no. They have no. So like,
no one talks about the Titans. Yeah, so
correct.
He makes some big plays. He can get at least. If Love is well, I don't know. When they had Chris Johnson, did people talk about the Titans?
They did.
Yeah.
So like
they even talked about the Titans when they had Kerry. Remember, Kerry Collins took them to 9-0.
Yeah.
Kerry Collins was balling with them randomly one season. They thought they was going to the Super Bowl, but no, yeah, I like that coaching staff that they got in Tennessee with what's his name, dude who used to coach for the Jets, so Robert Saleh, and they got Brian Dable as an offensive coordinator.
Yeah,
it'd be interesting what they could do in Tennessee.
Yes, it will be, because both of them, that's a great defensive mind and a great offensive mind, and you're working with talent on both sides of the ball. They do have some talent there. It's just that they're not named talent at this point. So when you say that, they need more. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. They need more. They need more talent to surround that talent, but they still got something to work with, if nothing else.
They got Simmons, and they got, I think, the quarterback. He's gonna eventually be all right. He's gonna have to throw the ball.
I think Cam's gonna be a star.
I think so too.
He's gonna be a good starting quarterback. I don't know.
He's gonna be a star.
He has the confidence and the work ethic to be good like that, Lou. He really does.
I don't know.
It's just a matter of getting him some weapons.
He can be good. I won't deny that he can be good. I don't know about a star.
I think he's gonna be like, but this is my projection of it, like what I see his future. He's gonna be like the Ant Edwards of the NFL for Tennessee. Like he is going to be he's going to be a star that's like he's casualing himself. He can make plays. Because I looked at some of them Tennessee games, like them throws he was making. It's the fact that they had plumbers he was throwing to, but he was making some throws and he was dealing with that shitty offensive line. That's what I'm saying. They're gonna look at that offensive line because they got to protect him. I know I wouldn't be mad if they took Jeremiah Love, but I also be like, bro, shirt up your quarterback.
Yeah, make sure you protect him. You got to protect him and keep him upright. Yeah, y'all are right. Derrick Henry was the most valuable Titan.
No, not ever. It was you talking about ever? It's McNair.
Would it be McNair?
It's McNair. Yeah, it's McNair. And then because they went to a Super Bowl. McNair, Eddie George,
Yeah.
Blaine Bishop, like all those people before Henry.
Yeah.
People love that team. Kevin Dyson, Frank Wycheck. Yeah, like they were they was a yard away from winning the Super Bowl. Yeah. Al Del Greco, they love Al Del Greco in Nashville. Show
Del Greco,
they love that kicker, dude.
Yeah,
man, all right. Probably the most memorable time.
Yep. Okay. Well, there you have it. That was unexpected. I will say that. But we have the draft coming up Thursday.
Now at McDonald's, a McDouble is only $2.50. So you can get your gym gains on or just get lunch for only $2.50. Get more value on the under $3 menu.
Limited time only. Prices and participation may vary. Prices may be higher for delivery.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
So I think we will be hopping on for a little bit to see what's going down Thursday as well. But all that being said, let us jump to the NBA. This past weekend, we watched Game 1 of the Eastern and Western Conference Finals now that the shitty play-in tournament is over. And for the most part, all the home teams won their opening matchups. However, the Orlando Magic pulled off a surprising upset and defeated the number 1 seeded Detroit Pistons 112-101. Do you all think this was an outlier win due to rust, or did we overlook the Magic?
I think a little bit of both, man. I really think it's a little bit of both. I think that the Magic caught lightning in the bottle at the right time. I really think that game that they lost to the Sixers woke them up, and it made them step up. And they came to play against Charlotte, and they haven't stopped playing since, if that makes sense. And I think that they figured out a formula that works. Banchero's getting it done. He's getting some help from the others. Everybody's stepping up and playing well. But I do think Detroit took them lightly. I really do. I think that Detroit came in the game and they were not ready to play for whatever reason. And a couple of those guys did not show up during, especially stood out to me. We talked about it in the chat. B told me he's not a Robin. And I said, B, I'll give him one more game. He got to step up this next game. Duran got to have a game of his life this next game. But I think that Detroit will still win the series. I think Detroit is 6. But I think that Orlando does deserve some credit. I feel good for Mosley keeping his job now. So
he ain't keeping a job, bro. They said no matter what happens this season, he out, bro. When your boss tell you that, bro, he just there to get his check. That's all he is.
But yeah, I think
they already said he don't. I'm assuming that he don't get along with their star player. Because if you watch the huddles and stuff, like we was watching the game, he's standing back. He like very distant from the coach. So it's a decision between him and the coach, and they get rid of the coach.
Yeah, the coach got to go every time in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that Orlando caught him off guard, and that can happen in these playoffs. These are it's 7-game series, no matter what. In most cases, you got to win 4. So I'm not surprised by some of these teams stepping up. And Orlando winning their first game, they just stayed on that heater they were on in the series before. I think Detroit gonna come out like a monster tomorrow, and you'll see Detroit back on their stuff.
I feel like that we may have done a disservice to Orlando. They have been playing do or die basketball because they were a play-in team, so their seriousness started earlier than Detroit. Detroit had like a whole week off. BZ even has that conspiracy kid that they lost on purpose so they can face Detroit based off of matchups. Because now everybody's talking about Orlando is a very bad team for Detroit matchup wise. Because like it seems like everybody on their team is at least 6'4" and up. Yeah. So like it's a lengthy, tall, athletic team. And Detroit only has one guy that you can really rely on offense. So, and it showed. Like, I haven't seen Apollo play like that in a minute since Duke. Like, that nigga was even when Durant was on him, when he came out and he hit that mid-range jump shot off, it was clean, Ken. Like, it was straight nylon. Like, it was like, okay, these guys is playing. And then defensively, Suggs came out of nowhere like he was back at. Didn't he play at UConn? Like he was playing for back in Connecticut. It was like he was all over the place. He was a pest. I'm not gonna say Detroit like is in trouble because game ones are always easy to steal, especially a team that's been on a lot of rest. And we also forget that this Detroit team is still very young. This is their second go round in the playoffs. Like again, that's why I've been arguing with FIFA about these young teams with these high expectations. Is like as we looking right now in San Antonio facing Portland may be able to steal this game, and that changes the series. It's like you got to be careful with how much you disregard experience. So I think that while Detroit should win this series, I'm not saying that Orlando's going to get the upset, but if Detroit doesn't win game 2, it's ugly. Like, because then you're going on a roll with a young team that hasn't been down 0-2 like this before since playing the Knicks, probably. You know what I'm saying? So this is a must-win game for Detroit. Somebody has to step up. Durant has to. Well, he only had like 7 points last game. Like Durant has to at least get double digits, or at least be a pest defensively.
He got to have a double-double.
Yeah. There's no question with that.
He need to D up on Franz Wagner. That's what need to happen. Like if he could stop Franz, then they would have a better shot in this game.
Now at McDonald's, a sausage McMuffin is only $1.50. So stop dreaming about breakfast sausage and go get it. Get more value on the under $3 menu.
Limited time only. Prices and participation may vary. Prices may be higher for delivery.
I don't think it's a must win though. I think that Detroit has the best player in this series. And I think from top to bottom, they may have a better roster. Yeah, the matchups are bad, but I do think Cade can take over and nobody will be able to stop him. Paulo's good, but he ain't Cade. He ain't in MVP discussion. So I think since they have the best player, I still favor Detroit. Even if they go out 0-2, I could see them going to Orlando and winning 2. And then coming back to Detroit 2-2, and then it's game on. Game 5 is the must-win game. So, yeah, I wouldn't even be worried if they lost this game close. I think they're still figuring out the matchups because they're young. And I think that the main thing is them stopping Franz. Like Franz, he was barbecuing them the last game, and they have to find an answer for that even more so than Paulo because he's going to get his. Suggs going to be hit or miss. I think when you go on the road, he's been good, but that ain't going to be consistent later in the series because role players like him play better at home, so he may have a couple good home games. I don't know if that's enough to carry them to win. So I still don't think Detroit is in trouble, even if they lose this game.
That's nuts.
It is, and
they got the best player in the series.
Doesn't matter.
Do they?
It does.
With a collapse lung?
That's the biggest part.
He ain't hurt no more.
Well, so I'm concerned. I'm concerned because streaks carry some history and at times relevancy to them. They haven't won a playoff game since 2008. We can look at the context of those games, but nevertheless, the streak is still intact. They have to break the streak to prove to themselves that they're serious. And you would have thought, at least I would have thought, that they would have came out and played with more urgency than they did in that game, especially with the experience that they had last year. They won, as B reminded us, every game on the road and lost all the games at home. So we chalked that up to inexperience. Well, now they got the experience. So, and they went 2-2 against Orlando this season, if I'm not mistaken. And the reason why I don't think it's much, it doesn't make much of a difference that Cade is the best player in the series is because if Banchero is on his game, then he can match him. And then you got Desmond Bane. There's no Desmond Bane on Detroit. There's no Wagner on Detroit that can go out and put up 10 in the fourth quarter, and they couldn't stop him. And he's kind of been up and down since I think he came back from the injury. So they have, in terms of like players, quote unquote, big three on that team. Right now it's just Cade, and everybody else just fit into the role. And Cade is doing his sort of LeBron thing where he's the best player and he kind of gets everything else going. But he was pushing and he couldn't crack the code. Now I give it to Orlando. They did a good job of weathering the storm every time Detroit made a push, but they got a lockdown defensively. That's where they made their mark. And hopefully wait for the Magic to go back to this Jekyll and Hyde sort of team that they've been all year. But part of that was the issue that they were having in the locker room. So to Nick's point, them being in playoff mode could have caused them to kind of, develop a tighter unit to be focused on the mission. And they heard the talk. They had something to prove. So we'll see what happens in game 2, but they absolutely got to win game 2. And I'll tell you why. Psychologically, you start thinking about that losing streak as a young team.
You do. Because maybe that would expose. Has Detroit been listening to the news and looking at their own press clippings too much, saying like, "Oh, if we face Boston, if we face New York, we good," and forgot about like, "Oh yeah, we got to get out the first round first." You know what I'm saying? Like, because they over there thinking about the down the line how we match up with the big boys. It's like, nigga, again. Orlando, the defense they had in game 1, I've never really seen that like playoff wise. They was locking niggas up. And then you also looked at how much talent they have actually on their roster, because they've been picking in the top 5, top 10 for the last few years too. So it's like, okay, like if they actually get this shit together, and then you got a coach who don't give a fuck, so he gonna be trying all types of shit because he getting fired regardless. This is a dangerous they're gonna be. And it's also interesting because they're going to be to Detroit what Detroit was to others last year. A dangerous team that is young, and you may not want to see them in the first round. And again, now that Detroit has been putting a lot of people on notice, because I've seen a lot of their fans talk about no one's really talking about us really competing, or they counting us out. It's like, all right, there's a team that's targeting your ass right now, and you ain't been in that situation in a while because y'all just started winning games. How do you respond back in game 2 at home? Because you're going on the road for the next 2 weeks, or at least week and a half.
Yep.
That means you ain't gonna have the Detroit. You ain't gonna have easy in the stands.
Right.
It's gonna be another motherfucker. You have a Florida man cussing your ass out, calling you a nigga.
Right. They got to take this next game personal, man. They really, really do. You got beat at your own game, which is a physical style game, and they really, really, really got to take game 2 serious and take it personal and come out and establish dominance early. They got to. Not only do they have to win, they have to win impressively. If you ask me,
you know what I'm about to say, Sheldon. They got to. Tobias Harris has to have a game.
Yeah, you're gonna have to have that early. That's saying a lot, Ken, but it's true.
He has to have a game, because that's the only Robin that you can see.
The game dependent on Tobias Harris, it's rough.
You don't think he can get you one?
He can. He definitely can get you one. He get you one.
Tobias Harris. No,
he can get you one where he hits some big shots.
I would bet.
Maybe 3 years ago. Maybe 3 years
would bet
ago
money.
He had about 4 open shots that he missed.
Durant can get you one before Harris could.
He was.
No, I'm saying that. I'm hoping that. Well, I'm hoping that we see a different story from him at least in this next game.
Durant can go crazy. Well, not go crazy, but he, like one of y'all just said, do his job, and rebound and put backs, dunk backs, and be a presence inside, because they didn't have any presence watching the game like in the middle as they was driving down the lane at Orlando, for that matter. Like Franz was able to do whatever he wanted to do. It just so happened he missed some shots. But if they had a presence on the inside, that would go a long way.
Yeah. Well, Durant was letting Wendell Carter Jr. push him around.
Paulo threw the ball up in the he threw the ball up in the air like it was a hot potato. All of a sudden, Wendell Carter come out of nowhere yamming on Darren. I'm like, oh yeah, this must be an off night, because these niggas was just like, I hadn't seen Detroit get bullied like that all season.
Ever. I ain't never seen him get bullied
all season. I'm like, bro, and that's me.
Where
I'm
was
like,
Isaiah Stewart? What was he at? Like, he's supposed to be a defensive stopper, right?
He played, but he.
No, I know he played. He didn't look like.
I'm saying, that's what I'm saying. He wasn't. They couldn't do nothing with them boys. They just couldn't do nothing with them. That was not their night.
And Durant, he had a pretty bad playoff series last year, didn't he?
I don't remember.
I don't think he was.
But he had But this year was supposed to be. He had a great season, so I'm expecting him to at least contribute. You were leading that team down the stretch when Cade was out. You kept them relevant. You got to show up in a game like this. And like I said, if nothing else, I think he only had like 4 or 5 rebounds, or 5 rebounds, I think, total. That was ridiculous in itself. Like, you got to control that glass.
He was a waste of space. He was a waste of space in that game.
He really was. And I'm talking about no help side defense whatsoever. They were blowing, the guards were just getting right to the basket, like, with no help. And it was just way too much. I looked at him. If you asked me to put this game on one person, he's the guy I'm putting it on.
Yeah, because Cade had damn near 40.
Yeah, Cade did his part. Yeah, then she posted it. I was gonna say something about that. Hold on. I thought I sent y'all that.
Hold on. Angel Reese dated Durant and his Wendell Carter.
Yeah, she posted Wendell Carter dunking on Durant. They said, "I was like, I couldn't come outside after this."
No,
she posted.
Let me know your theory ain't true, Nick. If she date those NBA players she dating.
Yeah,
he ain't dropping out the WNBA, bro. Dating Durant and what the fuck is the other nigga name?
Wendell Carter Jr.
She wanted to be with them niggas.
Dude, hey, kid, she call him Dub C behind closed doors.
Oh man.
So Nick theory is the Angel is going to quit the WNBA and just go be a mega star doing other stuff. And I'm saying if she dating Wendell Carter and Durant, that ain't possible. Sorry.
Anyway, man. Continuing with the NBA playoffs, which team of series are you most looking forward to in the first round? Do you all feel differently about the Houston Rockets versus Lakers, Los Angeles Lakers series now that Kevin Durant is dealing with the injury? That was an interesting game from the Lakers. I really hope KD play, man. I want to see them.
He's warming up. They just showed him warming up just now, so I think I'm pretty sure he's playing. It was funny because they said he hurt his knee diving for a ball in practice, and it was like KD ain't never dove for a basketball in a game with a practice.
Ain't no way in the world. I ain't never seen him man diving no basketball, bro.
I'm like, I don't know how but yeah, this series. The Lakers and the Rockets, to me, is the one I'm looking forward to the most. And 1A would be the Knicks and the Hawks. But yeah, this Lakers-Rockets series is a pick 'em for me because we all know that I'm picking the Rockets, but we all know that the Lakers have been disappointing at times, and they're playing without a couple of their best players. So it's going to be real tough to beat this Rockets team consistently. That first game they got them. But Katie is back tonight, so I'm really interested to see if the Rockets can bounce back and pull off an upset in game 2.
I'm clearly more invested in the Knicks Hawks series. I'm not even gonna cut the bullshit. Like, the Knicks choked Monday night. They weren't aggressive. They were in the bonus can for that fourth quarter for like half the quarter. Like, it was like 7 minutes left in the quarter, and they were in the bonus already. They were not aggressive like they were. Game 1, they came out exactly how they were supposed to. Brun got it out early. He was like, fuck the noise. We gonna start being aggressive. Game 2, I feel like they was again like maybe what Detroit was doing, reading their press clippings. Like, okay, they showed that they were a better team. Game 1, it's gonna be an easy series, and then I was telling I told y'all, I was telling my homeboy, bro, who also is a Hawks fan, CJ McCollum ain't no nigga that you could just really like say you ain't gonna have to worry about him. Now for a series, for a series, hell nah. I'm not saying that he's that good, but CJ's gonna get you one game, and he got him that game. I think that game 3 now, because to me, at first I knew the Hawks were going to win a game, of course, but I was hoping it would be game 3 at home and not game 2 on the road, because now this makes game 3 a big game for the Knicks. It's a lot of pressure on the Knicks. They're going to be in a hostile environment. Well, maybe not, because I forgot half of New York is in Atlanta.
Yeah, that's true.
Atlanta's not going to be hostile. It's going to be
The strippers ain't gonna give them lap dances when they come into town, Lou. That's the hostile version of Atlanta. They ain't gonna get on.
Hey, depending on who it is, Nick. Depending on who it is,
right? But I'm very interested in Game 3. I think that's a big need for the Knicks to win that game and on Thursday. But the Houston Rockets and the LA Lakers, if KD didn't get hurt, I think Houston wins that game. So I think Houston wins tonight. They only need to win one game anyway. They're the road team. So,
and Nick, you're not in the ATL, so you're not tapped in. But guess who's performing at halftime for Game 3?
Ludacris. Soldier Boy, tell him.
Soldier Boy, tell him.
Soldier Boy really performing?
Yes. Yeah, he's serious.
Yeah, he the halftime show for the Knicks.
Soldier Boy, tell him.
For the Knicks Hawks. So take with that what you may.
Yeah, I fuck with Soldier Boy, but that's disrespectful.
To who?
It's disrespectful to the Knicks. Come on, are you kidding me? Out of all the niggas in Atlanta, give me Gunna at least.
They call Soldier Boy for the Knicks. That's crazy. They ain't even get Walker on the phone. Damn. But the question was, what series are we least interested in?
Most.
The series that I'm most interested in, I would say Knicks Hawks too, because I'm invested in the Knicks doing well in the playoffs. I just feel like the playoffs are better when the Knicks are there. Like playoffs in Madison Square Garden are like, it remind me of the 90s. It remind me of watching Jordan. It remind me like the chance of defense and all of those things. And I like Brunson. So I'm in the closet rooting for the Knicks as I try to hate on Nick at the same time and balance those two things. So that is the series that I'm most interested in. I don't really care about the Lakers and Thunder series because I don't think neither one of them can win the title. I don't think that LeBron can. I mean, he can win this series because Durant's hurt. We'll see tonight. Them two going at it dolo. Luka may be back, but even with that don't make me think they're going to move past the second round. So I'm not interested at all in a Rockets-Lakers series because I don't think either one of those teams could do damage. I would be shocked if they did. But the Cavs and Raptors is the worst series.
Yeah, thank you, Spike. That's exactly
nobody
where I
want to
was.
see that shit.
I was going to go. That's why I said it wasn't on there. But somebody B Staples just actually posted this. Arden Mitchell really deadly watching for the Cavs. We're not watching. We're not.
You can give us updates.
I thought he meant deadly for each other because they was going at it yesterday. They kind of had
just put the updates in the group chat. B Staples. Like I didn't got several texts just now while we've been recording. It's like, oh man, the Cavs and bro, I don't care. I'd rather watch. I watched Spurs.
Yeah, I watched the condensed version of that game, and it was close for a minute. Even the second game was relatively close for a while, but they just Toronto just folded down the stretch, and Cleveland just took over, and then that was that. So we'll see what they do, but it hasn't been interesting so far. I know Philly tied the series tonight. But that was not interesting to me at all. I think I'm with you guys. I don't think the Rockets Lakers series is all that interesting. Old as LeBron, and for them to win that, I mean, they pretty much control most of the game. I know it was like a 2-point game or whatever at halftime, and they kind of had enough of a padding on the second half here and there to not worry as much. And then Luke Kennard got hot. How often that's going to happen?
No,
right. So, and I think I think they said JJ Redick told him they wanted him to be aggressive with Luka out. It's like, all right, we've seen Luke Kennard in the playoffs before. He chokes every time, but he had a good game and they won that game, and we'll see what happened. But is Aiden going to keep doing what he's doing? Probably not. Rui Hachimura, he's a perfect role player that feeds off everybody. Maybe he's good for a game or two. We've seen him do that in the playoffs as well, feeding off LeBron. But can LeBron control this, this whole game in the way that he used to, go vintage in order to win a series? So that'll be condensed games for me. But definitely the Hawks, Knicks, and Nuggets and Wolves. Those are the two. Hawks, because I just love seeing them, y'all talking in the chat. The shit's fun to me, watching y'all go back and forth. Speaking on the Hawks game, though, that was a good game. It looked like the Hawks definitely were not ready for playoff experience. Knicks had a 14-point lead, but they showed a lot of fight, a lot of resolve to come back. And I'm with you, Nick. I think when we were evaluating the series, that was the one thing I was talking about, C.J. McCollum. Like, he has playoff experience, and we've seen him get busy in the playoffs, and C.J. thinks he's one of those guys. And, you know, they even said a stat that he's like the highest scoring player to never make an All-Star. So, and then he embraced the villain role. Like, he was talking shit to everybody else on the sideline.
He was.
And he was just, woo, he got Brunson so bad. Bro.
And CJ is the dude that you overlook because he's not athletic. He's like
Rip Hamilton. He like Rip Hamilton.
He's like also like a poor man's Kyrie in every sense of the world. Like he can maneuver, he can score, but he's not a star, but he ain't shitty. Like, he's far from shitty. He's like, again, I don't think he gonna be doing anything like that moving forward in this series, because I think the Knicks learned their lesson, Ken. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know.
But I will say that the shit that he was proving, I was not shocked about what he was doing in that game. Because if you give him an inch, he gonna take a mile, and the Knicks just did not want to close out that game. That was all it was. They didn't get to the line. They was missing free throws. The game came down to OG Anunoby's 2 missed free throws and Mikal Bridges doing that goofy ass fadeaway shot when he should have drove down the lane and tried to draw a foul. You down, you hit 2 free throws, you win the game.
Yes.
Yeah. And I know Brunson hit 2 threes late, but he was MIA in that fourth quarter. Cat was MIA in that fourth quarter.
Yeah.
You know, and Cat had a good third quarter. So I think that's on Mike Brown too. Like, get the man
he has to
touches.
Yeah. Well, he also has
like,
he also has to tell them to be aggressive, like continuously be aggressive. I think that's the thing. Mike Brown has a good scheme and all that shit, but he needs to get into these motherfuckers' asses and be like, listen, bro, quit fucking around with these niggas, because they gonna steal a game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think the other thing that to watch for, you were right, Nick. Kuminga was really, really helped out a lot in the fourth quarter, and then Jalen Johnson kind of got his confidence and helped down the stretch. But Brunson on defense, bro.
That was it.
You gotta watch. That's gonna be a problem, bro.
But they, and that's why game 1 was interesting, because they didn't. The Hawks didn't do that, and everybody and their mama on the media was like, "You got to go at Brunson on defense," and then they did it game 2. So I'm like, so game 3 is like, there's no way you can take Brunson off the court, first of all, and second of all, there's no way you can hide him on the court. So it's just, it's one of those things where that lineup
Mike
where
Brown's supposed to figure that out though. He's a defensive coach. Why, like Mike Brown's supposed to have some.
Yeah.
That's what y'all brought him to New York for.
But that's something that you have to live with, though. You can't solve it.
You really can't.
There's a scheme that you will be able to put together. Like, people have been hiding guards for a long time. They hid Luka. They had, like you talked about, Kyrie when he was.
They didn't hide Luka. They lost the series because they couldn't hide Luka, bro.
They also made it to the finals because they were able to hide it. They hid Steph for years.
And Steph gave up a 3.
You got to figure that out if you Mike Brown.
But Lou, Steph gave up a 3-1 lead when he got dot in his eye by Kyrie.
So the biggest thing to me was like we know that the biggest part to this was Brunson on defense. They attacked Brunson on defense. They even asked CJ about it. They asked CJ, was he get a tail on Brunson? He was like, "What you think?" He was like, "You saw it." Like, basically, CJ is super confident right now. And I love it. I love it. And the other thing that they did that made it successful was they took the ball out of Bronson's hands. He would have the ball at the top of the key, and they would double him to make him get it out of his hands, and they wouldn't let him get it back. So that was really what shut the Knicks down. But like you said, they should have figured out ways to get the ball to Cat so he could at least try to do something. But he not only did he not score, he wasn't even touching the ball at all in the fourth quarter. So to me, that was a travesty. It was all Anunoby and Bridges, and you can't win like that. There's no way. And they just couldn't match. They dominated the Hawks in this game up until that point, and the Hawks just couldn't miss down the stretch. They was hitting some tough shots, and that was the real difference in this game. So the next game, you're going to have to figure out a way to get Brunson out and keep that trap from coming, that double team, and figure out a way to make some things happen on defense. because you got to scheme your way out of it some kind of way. There's got to be a way.
But the thing is, like with Steph, Lou, or like how they use Steph or hide Steph, he doesn't have to have the ball in his hands to be, deadly. Like him moving around is deadly. Like Brunson has to, like, they always complain about him pounding the air out of the ball. You know what I'm saying? Like there's certain things where he has to be a focal point. So like on defense, maybe they do that big lineup with Karl Towns and Mitchell Robinson more to kind of make up for it on the other end. But still,
And we haven't even and keep in mind they stole a game. Kuminga was good. Jalen Johnson struggled but got comfortable late. But we haven't even seen what's his name, Nickel Alexander or whatever.
He's
been playing well, and Snyder found a way to unlock him. So he should play way better at home in these next 2 home games. Yeah, and y'all might come back to New York down 3-1, bro.
Chill out.
Nick, how you gonna watch the game? Because I know you broke the TV.
Listen. If the Knicks lose the series, kid, I'm taking a break from there. I'm gonna hit a Jalen and go to Bali for a few days. I will catch y'all at the finals. I ain't coming back. That's on the table. I'm not saying it's not, but I highly doubt it.
The Knicks are better, Nick. But I just told you that they're going to be a tough matchup, bro. Just the bodies that Atlanta has and the way that they play. It's like the counter opposite of what New York wants to do. Like their guards are bigger. All the guards are bigger than Jalen Brunson, including CJ McCollum, right? Like, and then they have the matchup for everybody. Even Mitchell Robinson. Mitchell Robinson is a big defensively that wants to be closer to the basket. They got a Kongu that hits threes.
But Mitch is athletic, so he can go out there if he needs to do. He had a big impact on this game. They had a good run because
I'm not saying that, Nick. See, Nick, put the analytic cap on, not the New York Knickerbocker cap on. Because all I'm saying, because you're 100% right. Mitchell Robinson had a major impact in that game, and we know that when Mitchell Robinson is right, he's one of the better defensive bigs in the league. So no discredit or anything to him there. But what I'm saying, Nick, is that when you are a 3-point shooter, and I'm not going to call a Kongu knocked down, but a Kongu shoots in the middle 30s. That means you have to respect it. And he's not used to always closing out. So Kongu was able to exploit him in the first 2 games. That's going to be a matchup.
All I know is game 3 is going to be one of the biggest games of the series already.
Now at McDonald's, a sausage McMuffin is only $1.50. So stop dreaming about breakfast sausage and go get it. Get more value on the under $3 menu.
Limited time only. Prices and participation may vary. Prices may be higher for delivery.
I do want to touch on Minnesota, Denver.
Real quick before you go, I feel like this is a Mike Brown series. This is what you brought him in for. All of that stuff that y'all are talking about. Yeah, Atlanta may have great matchups. Yeah, I understand that there are some bad matchups in the series that you're going to have to figure out. But top to bottom, the Knicks got the better roster. And the reason that Tom Thibodeau is not there anymore, or Tim Thibodeau, whatever his name is, the reason that he's not there anymore is because Mike Brown was supposed to be a better coach. And if Mike Brown goes into this series against the Hawks, who are a very talented team and do match up well against you, if he can't figure it out, you on the first thing smoking out of town, bro.
So wait, hold on. Before anybody says something, Spike, question to you. Is Mike Brown's job safe?
No. God, no.
Of course
one
not.
and done?
It's got to be safe.
If he loses to the Hawks, yes.
No.
If they get knocked,
I wouldn't even let him address the team. If they lost this series, you ain't doing exit interviews or nothing, bro. You out. Like, don't even come back. Like, if you lose this in 5, 6, if it's a close game 7, I don't care what the situation is. If you lose this series or the next series, to be honest with you now, I'm more with Nick on that because I brought you in. I made it to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. And especially with this series, I'm saying that because what y'all are explaining to me is watching a lot of basketball and me tuning in now for the playoffs is this is a matchup problem. That's a coach thing. That ain't a player thing. If I'm the owner, I feel like I got the better roster. I put the better players out there. You just couldn't figure it out as a coach. And that's what I brought you in for. You ain't even got to address the team. You ain't got to do exit interviews. Whatever I got to pay you to leave, bye. You ain't coming back if you don't win this round or the next round, and maybe even the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yay.
So 2 things. Number one, remember when the Golden State Warriors, not the Steph Curry led ones, but the Baron Davis, Matt Barnes, Steven Jackson, that Golden State Warriors took down the Dallas Mavericks, right? And Dallas was the number one seed. I want to say they won 60 games, if not real close to 60 games.
Mm-hmm.
So they were a dominant number one, and they lost to the number 8 seed. I say all that to say that if New York is already a questionable franchise historically in terms of stability and truly competing for championships, like this window now has been the best window that they had since Patrick Ewing and them boys. And no disrespect to Carmelo, they were a playoff team, but they weren't true contenders, right? That being said, if you do Thibodeau the way you did Thibodeau, and then you won and done Mike Brown, who is going to want to go there? You might as well put Brunson. Brunson's daddy might as well be the head coach at that point, because bro, like that is.
But let's keep it a bean, FIFO. This is why I'm interested in seeing how the Blazers owner deals with coaching moving forward now that they got new ownership. Because we've seen Hall of Fame coaches get fired for doing shitty jobs, i.e. Doc Rivers. We've seen Steve Kerr at best over the last 3-4 seasons makes the play-in or gets knocked out the second round of the playoffs. Like, we're seeing coaches. I think the value of coaching in basketball on an NBA level, we're going to really have to reevaluate that, because look at San Antonio's head coach. He probably getting paid, Sheldon, what, maybe $1 million if that. And he young, and we didn't know. And granted, he may have come through. Granted, he may have come through a system that is like, okay, he has this pedigree and this pedigree, but he's still a young guy that just needed an opportunity. And it's the New York Knicks, bro. People gonna be like, shit, nigga, sign me up, because if I win, I'm a king. Now, if I lose, obviously I'm fired. But if I win, I'm a king. And a lot of people, if you're a head coach, you want to get that limelight and spotlight to showcase your skills and put your name out there. So I think there will be a coach. I just think that the sense of urgency, I'm not mad at, because, yeah, it sounds crazy to say, like, get rid of a coach after you just got rid of another coach for not doing something that only one coach is going to win the title. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you really, it's a easy thing to grade when it comes to having a fair value on that. But that's expectations. Like you, like Lou was saying, like we have one of the best rosters in the East, top to bottom, if not the best roster in my opinion. The only thing missing is a good coach to get this over the hump. And if we've seen that Tibbs can do that, why wouldn't Tibbs can do that, but he isn't even utilizing the whole team. We've seen Mike Brown not only have a better record than Tibbs, but they playing better statistically at least. If they lose in the first round, though.
To Nick's point, and to answer your question, FIFO, I feel like that's a part of the pitch if I fire Mike Brown. Because I don't think that Mike Brown is highly regarded as some great coach. So if I'm talking to the next coach that's coming in there, it's like, yeah, these are like Mike Tomlin said, this is the standard. Like, we've made it here. You seen I'm going to fire him if he can't make it here. I want you to come in and be on the type of time that you need to win a championship. That's what we're ready for in New York. I feel like they have the roster to be able to say that to a head coach. And if a head coach thinks he's good enough to take that job, then you take it with the risk of knowing I may fire you in the next couple of years if you ain't doing what you're supposed to do. True, I do agree with you, FIFO. That can only last for so long. You can't do that every time. But I do think they have a window right now with Mike Brown to be able, if he don't be successful, fire him. And to the next coach, say, hey, the expectations are at the roof right now, bro. If you ain't coming in trying to win it, I don't even want you to take this job because you're not going to be here in 2 years.
And on top of that,
Knicks can do it. They spent the money. They got the roster to do that.
And FIFO, I know you got something to say, but like, if they do get knocked out first round, second round, they're still in the not Wembanyama, but the Giannis trade talks. They can revamp this team to be like, okay, if they get Giannis, then now again it's another year of boom or bust, because now we got Brunson, we got Giannis, we in New York, we ready to win right now. So I think this 2 to 3 year window is the championship window, though. Like Lou said, it's not going to be fire every coach until we win a championship. It's within this 2 to 3 year season.
He's gonna get at least 2 years. There's no way you fire Mike Brown after 1 year.
Man,
if he don't win this series, there's no way he gets another year.
Why would you? Why would you?
Why would you do that?
You brought him in for a reason.
So
not to lose in the first round.
It depends on how it looks too. It just really depends on how it looks.
It don't.
Well, no, but you know how it looks though, Shelton. If he loses and he keeps his job, and you fire Thibodeau for getting to the Eastern Conference, that looks very inept at the very top. That's number one. Number two, it's this, because I wanted to address what Nick said in terms of Steve Kerr, right? And I said I'm open to have that conversation, especially from a player development standpoint, because we see that Golden State has pretty much lost, their marbles. But in the last 5 seasons, Steve Kerr has won a championship, right? And you said we need to reevaluate coaching. Is as much as I will downgrade Steve Kerr, right? Like, he's still one of the better coaches in the league, and maybe it's just time for a change, on his end as well. But then you want to mention Spoelstra. In that same time frame, Spoelstra has made 2 NBA finals. And I think that this is the similarity between both Spoelstra and Steve Kerr, is that one had a dynasty and then pieces started withering away to the point where you are literally left with Draymond Green and Steph Curry from the championship court. Nobody else from that Golden State run is still on that roster, right? So you have a diminished version of what they once were. And then with Spoelstra, you have the master overachiever. But at the end of the day, both of those guys are very integral to what they do. And I guarantee you, Shelton, that if either one of those guys was available next season, if Mike Brown loses in this first round or even in the second round, you would have to consider either one of those coaches, because it is an upgrade over Thibodeau and it is an upgrade over Mike Brown. But at the end of the day, unless you get a coach that has won multiple championships or a championship as a head coach, not as the assistant guy, Mike Brown, Thibodeau, we're talking as the guy. That's the only way that I can justify them moving on from Mike Brown. But it looks bad if they keep him. And it looks bad if he loses in the first round.
Wolves, Nuggets, Knicks. What you have to say about that?
I keep on trying to tell Sheldon. I'll be like, listen, bro. Ant is here for a reason, bro. He's the prince that was promised. He's the prince that was promised. All right. and I also so we always be wondering, like, why does Ant always be hyping up McDaniels? He always, like, when he be like, who's some of your favorite players? Anybody? And I always say McDaniels. He building confidence in that nigga to talk. And he showed it. And he showed it. He showed it. He put the hoodie up too, talking about some nigga. He said the reporter asked who's shitty on their team. They shitty, like.
Now with McDonald's, a sausage McMuffin is only $1.50. So stop dreaming about breakfast sausage and go get it. Get more value on the under $3 menu.
Limited time only. Prices and participation may vary. Prices may be higher for delivery.
It's going, but it has to go 7 for them to win, in my opinion. Because Joker, even though Joker had a Joker game still, I still feel like they're going to have enough fight. But Jamal Murray is inconsistent. And I think that's something that people have overlooked throughout his whole career, is that he can be inconsistent as hell in the playoffs, i.e. game 2.
He had a rough. He had a Jalen Brunson fourth quarter. Is all he had. That's what I would say.
So you say inconsistent?
Yeah. That fourth quarter, he was definitely inconsistent for sure. They needed him to step up big, and he did. 3 quarters.
Calling the whole team bad defenders is crazy.
I love it. You see the Ant influence, though. I love it. I love the Ant rubbing off on his
Jokic,
players,
Jamal Murray. Then he started naming. He named names.
That's what make it rough right there.
He said Aaron Gordon. He said,
let me remind you.
Because now y'all got to come out next game and y'all got to do something.
Yeah.
But remember the last time Ant did this? What Kyrie do to that boy? Couldn't do nothing with that boy
That's Kyrie.
That's Kyrie though.
Yeah,
that's
Kyrie on their team.
Wait, I understand that. We understand that Kyrie is arguably one of the best one-on-one players that we've ever seen in the NBA. However, you want to talk about Jamal Murray, Nick? Only Jimmy Butler and Jamal Murray in the playoffs have all-star level numbers when they are very pedestrian in the regular season. Mm-hmm. Those two guys, in the playoffs, don't tell me you can have a bad shooting night. Even superstars do. But at the end of the day, when we've seen Jamal Murray healthy, he's been one of those guys. So Ant is talking, and I love that energy. And this is the reason why I said I would like LaMelo Ball there. We didn't got to open up that can of worms, but everything you said is the reason why I like him there. But in terms of calling people out, former champions, that they know how to get to that next level.
But they beat them. But they beat them.
I respect it though, FIFO, because he know that. He know what their resume read like, and he not scared. You're like, yeah, y'all be like, I know what playoff Jamal is like and all this stuff y'all talking about, but I'm telling you right now in this moment, I ain't scared of none of that. I love how he came out and was saying that.
1,000,000%. Look, man, that's what makes Ant great, though. That's what makes Ant great is that he don't shy away and he gonna talk and he back it up. All I'm saying though is that we're talking about how many times Joker MVP? Just one time? Yeah, he 3. Got snubbed. Nah, 3-time MVP.
Yeah,
3 times.
I thought
he got like I think he got 3.
He ain't got 3. He got 3. But regardless, we're talking about an MVP and we're talking about one of the best.
Joker, best player in the world.
So,
but my thing is though, like FIFO, to your point about Jamal Murray, in your description of trying to hype up Jamal Murray, you pointed out two of his inconsistency. He ain't consistent in the regular season as he is in the playoffs, or vice versa. And health wise, he's inconsistent as far as being available. So my thing is, when it comes, I'm just saying, but when it comes to Jamal Murray, you would think that again, for the whole point of seeding in the playoffs is that you want to be the home team because you start off at your crib and you should be able to go up 2-0. The ideal is we go up 2-0 before we go on the road and we just got to split one. Now that you have split on Minnesota done their job. As the road team, your job is we only need to get one of these two before we go back home. Minnesota has already proven that they can knock out Denver after their championship run and they play them close. Like, regardless of matchups or whatever, they played them close. Game 1 was more close than what people thought. Minnesota just couldn't hit shit in that second half, especially that fourth quarter.
I think you got to change the word consistency, Nick, only because, look, Jamal Murray in the regular season averages about 16 to 17 points a game, and in the playoffs, he averages 24, 25. Consistency isn't the word that you want to use to describe whatever it is you're trying to describe when it comes to Jamal Murray.
Turn your mic up, people. It's coming in. It's low.
Yeah, this game at first, the first half wasn't as close as it was in the end. Denver had a chance to run away with this thing, so they let up off the gas, if you ask me, because they were running away with this game early. I was ready to turn the game off in that first quarter.
I did, Shelton.
You turned it off, and I didn't blame you, kid, because
44-28.
Yeah, halfway through the second quarter, it was the game was over. But Minnesota went on a heater, and then DiVincenzo was the difference, if you ask me. He hit a bunch of big shots. Boy, he hit a bunch of big shots down the stretch. And those shots were just too much to come back from. But I don't think they're going to sneak up on Joker too much. That's the kind of thing that Joker likes, is this little mess-up thing. And I look at it like he probably blames himself for that loss. That ain't what you really want to do. You don't want to wake up a sleeping giant. Now, these two teams are familiar with each other. They played each other like 70-something times in the last 3 seasons, something crazy. Not that 3 seasons, but they played a lot of times lately, and they're real familiar with each other. So I'm not surprised at them getting the game out of this. But I still think Denver is the team to beat in this series, and they should move on rather easily. Well, not easily, but you know what I mean. They should win 4-1, 4-2, but they should be some tight games down the stretch.
But they do look flawed, and look, shout out to Joker for that dunk on Gobert. I think in the fourth quarter. Who saw that coming? Yeah. But I will say that Joker is putting up his numbers, but he has not been clutch. He missed a lot of shots he normally makes.
Yep.
And he struggled in game 1, and he struggled late in this game in game 2. He did not show up when his team needed him the most. And he's an MVP. And we talked about like what Curry did when his team needed him in that one game that he got. You know, we look at Jamal Murray at moments when he showed up big. But yeah, and speaking of fourth quarter mishaps, like I'm starting to kind of look at Ant. There have been some moments in some fourth quarters Ant has kind of screwed up in previous postseasons, and in this one he had a travel of all things.
You saw that he had a couple of them in this game.
They could have lost that game. You know.
Hey Shelton, talk about DiVincenzo. You know he's actually one of the best plus minus players this season with a plus minus of plus 359 and a plus 9.9 on off rating, meaning that when he's on the floor, they're plus 9.9. And we're talking crazy. Like he's not even the best player on the court, but the impact that DiVincenzo has, to me, that shows what Ant needs in terms of like a running mate, because DiVincenzo is a low version of what would make this a championship team, because you could win with Julius Randle. Like he just can't be your second best player. And that's what DiVincenzo's plus minus shows you. If you had a better LaMelo Ball, if you had a better version of that, this is a true championship contender, but they don't have that. But DiVincenzo's that guy. Though.
And what Ant was doing was impactful all the way around, because he was getting to the basket with ease. And he was finding the open man, because when the defense collapses, you got DiVincenzo open on one side. Now, what McDaniel was doing was crazy, because McDaniel wasn't even open on some of those shots. And some of those moves he was making, I'm like, man, did he work with Hakeem over the summer or something?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, some of them, he was in his bag. He
like
was
Shaq was saying, he had some feet work on a couple of them plays. I was like, man, who was that?
But FIFO, I want to ask you a real quick question before we move on. Lou said that he would not be nervous for Detroit if they lost game 2. Do you agree with that?
I'd be a little nervous. Not nervous that they can't come back.
Is it? It ain't a must-win game. It's not a must-win game, is it?
Game 2 he's talking about.
I know what he's talking about. It's like I prefer you win game. I wouldn't call it must.
It's not a must-win game.
How is that not a must-win?
Because
they're
we're
better
about
than
the best
Orlando.
Team.
Yeah, they can go to Orlando and win 2 games, and then you come back to Detroit tied 2-2.
They can't win at home.
No, 1,000,000%.
That's what I'm saying. They haven't won at home since Louis was in Tennessee the last time.
They're the number 1 seed for a reason. They're the number 1 seed
those
for a
teams
reason.
ain't got shit to do with this team, though. Like, yeah, it's been a streak or whatever it may be, but if you the coach and you going in and you talking to them in the locker room, or if you cage, like that losing streak ain't got shit to do with us. We just lost 2 games at home through the opening series. We're still the best team in this series. Those old ass teams ain't got shit to do with us. We can go out here and we can win game 5. Game 5 is going to be the must-win game if they lose this game.
Game 3 is must-win regardless if they win or lose.
First of all, Spike, you're wrong. Spike, you're wrong. This team lost last year. They did not win a game at home last year.
They were underdogs. They were underdogs.
It doesn't matter. You said the old teams don't matter. What I'm saying is
they don't.
Right. But this team was the same team last year, and they still can win a game at home. This shit applies. They went on the road. All the games they won were in New York. And we were like, if they just win a game at home, and they never could break the streak.
Orlando is nothing to be scared of. If a team tells me in a press conference that a press release that they already decided to fire their coach regardless of how good he does in the playoffs, I'm not scared of that team. We can go down 0-2. We might go down 0-3.
The only reason to be scared though, Lou, is you think of the confidence a team gains winning 2 games. A team like Orlando winning 2 games on the road. That's something you don't want to see. This is an NBA team with talent up and down the roster. You don't want them getting no confidence. You got to take their heart. You can't even let them think they're in this series. So you got to beat them this next game, and you got to not only beat them, you got to beat them handily. If you ask me, I don't even if they have a close game, Orlando still wins, in my opinion. That lets them feel like they're in this series. You don't want them feeling like that.
So Spike, this is the reason why I'm gonna back you up, right? There's a Phil Jackson rule. I don't know if y'all know what that Phil Jackson rule is. A team that wins 40 games before losing 20 games are true championship contenders. And there's only a handful of teams that did that this season, and the Detroit Pistons are one of them. Their best player went down, and he's coming back from a collapsed lung. He played a significant. I thought he played relatively well compared to what he's dealing with. And we know that by the end of this series, Cade is going to be closer to what he was than what he started this series. That's just body fact. That's just body fact. Anybody that has gone through that. By the end of the series, he'll be better than he was at the beginning of the series. Also, at the end of the season when Cade was out, the others stepped up. I'm not worried about them. So that gives credence to them. Shelton, I do agree here with Orlando. Can't take them lightly. Why? Because they're physical. When we did our top 5 by position, I was the only one to have Franz Wagner. Franz Wagner is arguably the best two-way 3-man in the league right now. Them boys physical. Banchero is a big boy with a lot of skill. He physical. Anthony Black, shout out to the DFW. He graduated out of one of these high schools from here. Big guard. They are a big team that likes to play physical, and they smacked Charlotte in the mouth to get here, and that's all that they did to Detroit. I'm not worried about Detroit, Ken, because this season has nothing to do with last season. Spike is 100% right. Of last season, they were trying to hunt versus them being hunted now. And I think that they transitioned well to being the hunted. Their best players just getting back. I'm not worried about them. Game 2 is not a true must win. I prefer they win. But they have shown this season that they have what it takes to beat an Orlando team.
But
we're not talking the New York Knicks. We're not talking about the Atlanta Hawks. We're talking or Boston or Philly. We're talking Orlando.
Go ahead, Sheldon.
No, real quick, I was just gonna say, they split this season, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. I think it was 2-2.
I think it was
2-2. And Cade Cunningham may be back to top shape by the time the series is ending. The problem may be he may be going home when it's over, and it may not matter. So he better start winning some games at home.
Are you willing to put money on it?
I'm concerned about their losing streak at home.
Are you willing to put money that Orlando is going to beat Detroit? Yes or no?
I don't know why you're asking me about betting, bro. I'm not
betting. Look, Ken, I don't put money up either. I'm just hypothetically speaking. Are you willing to put money where your mouth is? Because you're talking about casting doubt. I have no doubt. I put all the bread up on Detroit's behalf. I will
say this, FIFO and Lou, because FIFO, you said that Cade is getting back into form, and he's this is the worst version we're going to see him in this playoffs right now. Sheldon, what can you do better than 39, 5, and 4?
That's a lot right there. That's a lot. I was thinking the same thing.
I think that goes kind of me and FIFO's point, though. Like he gonna keep showing up and doing that. I don't know who on the other team is going to be able to do that on the night. And like Cade is coming to do that every game.
But two things,
y'all got to deal with that.
And they lost by double digits.
Two things, though, real quick.
Even if we drop 2 games at home, I'm still coming to your place and I'm putting up that 39, 5, and 4 again. Orlando can't deal with that.
But here's 2 things to that for you, Lou and FIFO. Lou, to answer that question, he put up 39, 5, and 4, and they lost.
Double digits.
He can do that. He score 42, and they still gonna lose. I mean, if the others don't step up.
It's 7-game series,
right? So we're not talking. What I'm talking about, we're not.
Better team is going to win.
We're not doubting the better player. We're doubting the rest of his team showing up. Those are the guys that are going to have to step up. Right now, Orlando is proving to be the better team. I'm just saying right now in the series so far. If FIFO that same bet, would you make if they were down 0-2? Would you put your money up then? That's the question. Because the question is not now. The doubt is not now. The doubt is if it's 0-2.
You want to bet a bottle?
No, I'm not making a bet.
If Orlando,
I'm just saying how sure. Yeah.
If Orlando go up 2-0, Lou, we bet a bottle.
Right. That's when it gets tough. You know what I'm saying? The question was not when they win the series. The question was if they go down 0-2. Is that detrimental? That's the real question.
So if they go down 0-2, I'd split my bet. If I'm putting 100, I'm gonna put 50 on Orlando. That's what I'm gonna do at that point.
I'm definitely going ahead.
But at the end of the day, that's why I said this is I believe that the Pistons can come back down 0-2. I believe that.
Mm-hmm.
They go down 0-3, it's a wrap because now you have to win 4 straight. There is no wiggle room. Down 0-2 ain't the end of the world. That's why I said the must-win game is game 3. Regardless of what happens, you win or you lose, you gotta win game 3 to take either some momentum or momentum all the way on your side.
But the statistics, your numbers, man, FIFO, you go down 0-2, it's like 82, 85%. You're gonna lose that you're gonna lose that series.
I know. But here's the thing, right? Like at the end of the day, I'm always gonna bet on the best player and the better team. And even though, Shelton, I do agree Orlando is playing better today or yesterday in the days that they've played. I don't disagree that they've played better. It's because they had to be in the crock pot just a little bit longer. Detroit, yes, they've been without Cade, and I'm not saying that they rested on their laurels. Like they played a lot of tight games and they played really good down the stretch. But at the end of the day, for Orlando, it was make or break. You know, Detroit hadn't had to put that mentality on just yet. Orlando's been in that for the last 2.5 weeks. So yes, they are playing a more cohesive brand of basketball at the moment, but I still would not put my money there. As much as I do like the guys that they have there, nobody, in my opinion, could match Cade. And I just need Durant to come to play closer to what it was like when Cade wasn't there. When Cade wasn't there, Durant was averaging. He was a mid 20-point scorer, 10 rebounds. You know, like he was a dominant big. Maybe not 25, but we definitely need 18 to 22. He needs to be dominant on that side.
Well, you know, another team that's in trouble, just as an update on the game, are the San Antonio Spurs.
Now at McDonald's, a sausage McMuffin is only $1.50. So stop dreaming about breakfast sausage and go get it. Get more value on the under $3 menu.
Limited time only. Prices and participation may vary. Prices may be higher for delivery.
Only they lost twice tonight.
Yeah, so. And they said it looked like he had a concussion, and it takes some time to recover from. So it's gonna be
what
tough.
happened? Did anybody see it? Because I just
I saw it.
It looked bad.
He tripped over. Yeah,
his reaction looked bad. His reaction looked bad.
Yeah, he got a long way to fall, and he tripped over Holiday's leg and fell and hit his face.
Hit the ground. He hit his face on the ground.
So,
you could
like that or
like
side.
Yeah.
But his reaction when he was trying to get up.
He didn't even want to get up. Like for a minute, he was laying down. He didn't want to get up because he knew he would stumble and it would look really bad.
And he actually
shaking his head. You can see him shaking his head. Like, let me lay here for a minute.
It was
serious. It was. It
looked like he was out. Yeah, it looked like he was out. If for a second it did anyway. Yeah. So that was not a good.
But
look.
The thing
they had a chance to win that game down the stretch. But like Nick said, Portland played great down the stretch to pull it out. So that was really good.
But Henderson, man.
But the thing is, shout out to
Shine, Sheldon.
Scoot look like he be laying on that afro. He need to cut that hair.
My Scoot look like he
got that afro.
Scoot look like he driving a forklift, man.
Hey man, pick that afro out if you gonna have it. Pick it out in the back. Otherwise,
he work overnight shifts, man.
My thing with Wemby though, because I put this in the chat. Concussion protocol will be 7 to 10 days. Meaning he could be back by game 5 or game 7 if it gets down to that point. Absolutely. And this is what we were talking about when it comes to playoffs. We ain't have to worry about Wemby, but we have to worry about is he built for the playoffs? So he over here bumping his head like he Tua,
and trying to get up and stumbling like Martin Lawrence.
He was moving like what Martin Player's mama. He was doing that. He was like back.
Oh man.
Hey, Nick, I don't know where you got your information from, but the NBA concussion protocol is
48 hours.
48 hours, my boy. I don't know. You said 7 to 10 days.
I saw that.
I'm saying it's long to recover. No, I'm saying 48 hours. That could be a diagnosis. It still depends on how long he recovers. It depends on the injury. Everybody's brain is different.
No, I understand that. but he gonna be playing. If not game 3, he'll be there game 4. Guaranteed.
Yeah, it ain't no game 5. Yeah, he gonna be there game 4 regardless.
Fuck you mean?
Yeah. This your future though. You over here messing with his noggin like that.
Hey, this is basketball. This ain't football. This is basketball. I mean, look,
when you Wemby, you just need to be the presence out there. Like it ain't.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna take a lot of
if I'm pulling his head coach. Sheldon, if I'm pulling his head coach, all the big man move like this. we win it in 5.
Like you doing it.
All you gonna do is just hit it. All you gonna do is hit his chest. You're not even gonna get close.
No, FIFA, I'm saying you gotta raise it up. You gotta.
Hey, one thing I will say about this Rockets and Lakers series, differently from when we talked about it, Ken, LeBron and KD guarding each other is interesting. It makes me want to watch it more because they I want to see what they old asses do against each other. I think it's a matchup we ain't never got where both of them been really in the same position. So I am now more interested in this series.
Cleveland Golden State. Bless you. But Cleveland Golden State, that when they guarded each other, that shit, like, KD just pulling up from 30.
Yeah, it's different.
But that was because Brown was by himself, so he was looking around.
No. I'm talking about when they had
Kyrie, Kevin Love,
Kyrie, Iman, JR. I'm just
saying. KD was dotting his eye. He was dotting his eye, but
he was.
That was a crazy team he was facing. Yeah, that was a crazy 100%. Team.
I think that's the beautiful thing about KD, Bron. They're pretty much their entire career is that they're both great, but they're great at different things, but they play the same position. So they often guard each other, but they can't stop each other.
And they can make each other look pedestrian.
Yes.
Like KD can do that to LeBron, and LeBron can do that to KD.
Can do that to him.
And that's a wild thing to see. Yeah.
Exactly, because there's who else is going to do that? How many players make KD look pedestrian offensively or defensively? And the same thing for Bron.
Yeah, they kind of step the game up for each other. Yeah,
they do. You can tell they like even with the this ain't been 5 minutes into the first quarter, 6 minutes into the first quarter. You can tell how serious they
KD cooking.
That's
too.
That's the only thing that make me like now. I swear, Ken, before we started this segment, I was just like you. And like I don't want to see this series, but now that I see them going at it like that, talking in between plays, knowing the greatness that both of them have, like. It's now way more interesting.
Yeah, it's personal.
As they guarding each other. Yeah.
KD gonna jump on Sengun too if he ain't playing no ball tonight. So watch out for that too.
Bro. He was. I don't know what he was doing in game 1.
He was lost, bro.
KD can't stand
it. Hit that LA gas, nigga. He ain't know what to do.
Yeah. NFL live NFL draft round 1 show this Thursday night. Yeah. We'll be covering most.
What time the draft start?
Round.
It probably started at 8:30, I think, or
is it 8?
No, it's 8, maybe 8:30.
Yeah, I have Miles at soccer practice, which ends at 8. So it's gonna.
I say we start at 9.
Let's do 8 Eastern.
I
should be.
So about 9 o'clock, y'all.
Yeah. All right, hurry up and buy. With the playoffs starting, what are some of y'all favorite hate watches all time? For me, seeing the overrated Heatles dynasty fall to the Spurs in 2014.
What we hated to see most in the playoffs, mine was the 93 Suns versus the Bulls.
No, hate watch. So you don't like, I guess, like what team
I didn't like. I wanted Barkley to win. I thought the Suns was gonna win the series.
So that wasn't your favorite hate watch then, because
he's talking about watching a team you hate lose.
Yes.
Yeah, for me it was last year watching the OKC beat the Pacers.
Mine was when
mine's the Cowboys area. Like, all right, like this.
I think mine was it the Mavs beat?
Definitely. Well, while you thinking about it, for me, Nick, you already know. Undefeated Patriots, bro.
It could be any sport
of all time.
Yeah.
He didn't specify, so I'm just taking liberty with it.
That might be top 2 for me too, because it damn near and it happened twice. It was like if you didn't catch it the first time, they had an encore. It was the same way too.
I felt bad for
Shout out to
Randy,
Eli.
but of the Patriots.
I feel bad for Ocho. That was the Ocho's only chance to get in the ring too.
Mine was either when Tony Romo fumbled that field goal snap or when they had that catch that was reversed by Dez Bryant against the Packers.
Mine, I vividly remember just because I thought we had no chance. But you know, I am a Miami fan of damn near all teams out there.
I didn't know. I ain't know.
Hey, I say it
first
all the
time I heard it.
Hey,
It's the first time.
Hey, when you lost that Super Bowl in Madden, you saw all the Dolphin paraphernalia up there in the top right. You know, you saw it. Now when the Dolphins, you know, the Jay Fiedler era and all of that, and the Patriots came to town, and we ran them boys out of there with Ronnie Brown and Ricky Williams on that fucking Wildcat. When we ran that Wildcat and beat them, but what was that shit like 7-9 or some shit like that? We beat something ridiculous. So yeah, I love watching the Patriots.
A hell of a throwback.
Jay Fiedler, bro, nigga was ass. Hated.
You got one, Shelton, or did you already go?
I was trying to see
The Eagles last year.
Oh man, I can't recall.
All right, if you come,
My hate watch would be something with Duke, of course.
Oh man, yeah, back in the day, that was a good one.
Shut up, man.
This is a good
I don't
question.
really care about them losing.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to think about it. Yeah,
KD.
Whose 2 rings are worth more, KD or Kawhi?
KD.
KD's
Kawhi.
I say KD because he went to a team that was already dominant, that had won 73 games, and he put the slump down. It's like, I'm still the best player that you guys could add to this team. I know Steph was the engine behind it, but still, KD went and won 2 finals MVPs on a team that was already great. Kawhi came out of nowhere and won with the Spurs.
He didn't come out of nowhere.
Yeah, he came out of nowhere with the Spurs in that first championship. And even with Toronto, nobody expected that. And it took a falling in the corner 3 to win that. Like, it was damn near a miracle. KD was dominant in his 2 games.
And Golden State had 2 injuries.
Yeah, Klay Thompson.
Run too.
And that's why I was gonna say
Klay was the 4th best player on the team.
They still were gonna beat him.
Klay was the 4th best player on the team.
No. At that point, Klay was 3rd.
Draymond was
third. He was better.
Draymond was better
than
than
Draymond. No, what you talking about? We talk. This is the Klay Thompson for 37 in a quarter.
This is revisionist history. No,
it's not. Bro, he
Klay was very good. He was very good at what he did, but he wasn't better than Draymond at that time.
Let me
Spike,
ask you
I really want to make sure that we're hearing this correctly. Are you saying that Draymond Green was better than Klay Thompson? And
I can't even believe that y'all are questioning this.
I can't even believe that you had the words, the nerve to even structure that sentence.
Draymond was the glue. Klay is a catch and shoot.
I see why.
He Chris Bosh at best. He Chris Bosh at best. Draymond was the person who made that whole thing go.
I see why you said that.
I'm the Draymond guy on the show.
Don't even entertain this.
I do understand. I understand why he said that. He's wrong, but I
think he's. That's what I'm saying. I think he's wrong too, but I understand why he's saying it. He's saying because Draymond was kind of like the enforcer. And he was,
okay, cool.
He was getting the ball to Steph in places. He was getting the ball to Klay in places.
But let me ask you this, and this is what's going to show you the value of Klay Thompson. Who guarded Kyrie 80% of that series?
Bingo. Yeah.
And got
Kyrie.
I was gonna say, is the Kyrie cook? You asking me who guarded him like the nigga didn't cook. He cooked.
So hold on. Pause. Did we not just say that old man Kyrie cooked young man Edwards?
Yeah.
So if old man Kyrie could,
so
cook,
don't bring it up. Don't bring it up. Don't tell me who Klay was guarding. It don't matter because he got cooked.
He didn't say he stopped him. He just said he was guarding him.
Hey, no, Spike. The point is who drew the assignment. You're not gonna put the worst defender on Kyrie. You're gonna put your best perimeter defender on Kyrie, and that was Klay Thompson.
My answer to this question is I think KDs are worth more solely because they are a part of Steph Curry's legacy. Without KD's 2 rings, Steph Curry's legacy does not look the same. So in the story of basketball, those 2 rings are going to be valued more than Kawhi's 2 rings.
I agree. I saw this crazy stat. 40% of Steph Curry's career, he's missed the playoffs, while LeBron has played in the finals 43% of his career. Steph Curry, without those 2 championships, and let's be honest, KD elevated that team. 73-9, no matter. KD elevated that team. Kawhi still had the remnants of the big 3 on that first championship. Like, he wasn't the heavy weight bearer. He was the difference maker. So I give him credit there, but he didn't necessarily elevate all of those other guys to a stratosphere of ungodliness. Like, they were really good with him, but he wasn't that unfair at that point in time. And then the one in Toronto, we're talking about every single thing had to go right. So not taking away from his individual greatness, because he was obviously the difference, right? Also, LeBron not being in the East, that made another big, way to make it easier for Kawhi. But I do agree with Spike, Nick. I don't know if Shelton agrees, but I think KD's championships in this case way more than Kawhi's.
Yes, I agree.
We them boys. Bengals gave up the number 10 overall pick for overweight defensive tackle. Shout out to the Giants for the robbery.
Bro, he's literally one of the best defensive tackles in the league.
Gross underestimation.
Niggas don't know football. They say. I know he's on the.
Do know football. That's just like I don't even know what he was doing right there.
Yeah, that's hey. Well, he's back. And he said Bengals broke on and gave the defensive tackle they traded a 1-year extension after giving up a number 10 overall pick for him.
He doesn't know football if he's saying these things because he's on a 3-year deal.
No, y'all are a poverty franchise, but he was able to get the $28 million extension for less than he would have to pay Hendricks. So I mean, it was a smart business move. Like we them boys, like that don't make sense. It was a smart business move.
And the Bengals are not broke. They pay everybody.
No,
they've been paying.
They've been because they don't pay. It's like money. Tweets open doors. Do you think AJ Brown will get the stats he so desperately wants in New England, or will he never top his success in Philly? 3 All-Pros and a Super Bowl.
Wait until it's guaranteed that he's in New England. I don't know why people keep on running with this story. I know they're saying it's more than likely going to happen, but again, that's
who reported that. Diana Rossini.
Somebody. But if he does get to New England, he will get his stats, but I don't think it's gonna mean shit.
I think you have a coach that likes him because he had him in Tennessee and Vrabel. You have a young quarterback who he can influence more probably than he could from Jalen Hurts, from the reports that we heard, and he don't listen to people. So I think when AJ Green gets into that locker room, he's gonna be able to be a heavy influence and get Drake May to throw him the ball whenever he wants to. And
AJ Brown.
AJ Brown. He's gonna be able to get him. He's gonna be able to get him to throw him the ball whenever he wants to. So I think that can be very good for AJ Brown.
Well, he's gonna have to. He's gonna be the best receiver on the team.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. And at the end of the day, I think AJ Brown has shown that he is a number 1 wide receiver in this league, regardless. So he could take on double teams. He's obviously a big physical guy. He'll go over the middle and stuff like that. I do think Drake May is a better passer of the football, and that's not saying that much because it's not like he broke a whole bunch of records. Good quarterback, but a la Tom Brady. I'm gonna take the easy shit, the quick read. I'm not throwing it downfield. All that being said, I do think it is a good matchup. I think it is a good marry. I think they'll be able to utilize him. And will he top the success? Bruh, New England is a cheat code because the division's been shitty for 20 years. So, and they arguably have the best roster in that division. So at bare minimum, they're going to win the AFC East again.
You think so?
So, yeah. They got the best quarterback. They got the best roster. They got the, do they still got the most money? They still might have money.
They still got money. They still got money. They ain't paying nobody.
Yeah.
All right.
It's gonna be.
Go ahead, Shelton. My bad.
No, I was gonna say, it's gonna be tough. AJ is, he's getting a little long in the tooth, and New England does not throw the ball a whole lot. Matter of fact, if he missed, Stephon Diggs was their leading receiver last year, and I think he had
1,000 yards.
Their yards were even. He played more. He played 2 more games than AJ, And even though AJ was in a down season, he had, I think, two less catches and I think the same amount of touchdowns. So the numbers were real similar this year for AJ as it was for Drake May.
But they would throw
Drake
more.
May is a much better. Yeah, Drake May is a much better deep field threat than Hurts is. So he's going to thrive in this offense more so than he would in a Philadelphia offense.
Absolutely not.
Hurts can't get it downfield.
Jalen Hurts is the best deep ball thrower in the league.
Stop. Hurts can't move the ball. Yeah.
Like I said, it's the same. It's the same thing. So Drake May is going to have to take a big step.
Drake May is a better deep passer than Hurts is.
He's a better thrower of the football than Jalen Hurts.
Regardless, to me, it's like they're gonna change up the offense to make sure they throw the ball to AJ Brown. So they're gonna throw the ball more.
It up. They were doing it last year. New England threw the ball deep.
No, you made the Super Bowl. You don't have to change a whole lot. AJ will have to change for you if you do it that way. And if you
AJ ain't changed for your Super Bowl team.
We know that's not gonna happen.
Don't fall into that shit.
What's the next question, Ken?
Will the Mets ever win another game? Keep up the great work, fellas. I think so, and I think they're gonna get hot.
They will, but we hope not because they're Braves fans.
So. Manny is so hurt right now. Y'all just don't understand. In the Braves are on fire, so Manny's not happy right now.
Hey,
the Mets lost the 12th in a row. Mets lost their 12th game in a row. Braves lost tonight, but they had won 6 in a row to this point. They're leading the league.
Braves started out strong this season.
Yeah, they really did. And the Mets are just horrible right now. And that's not how we expected the season to go.
Who cares?
Which trade was the bigger fleece? Michael Bridges to New York.
Yes.
Paul George to the Clippers, or KG and Paul Pierce to Brooklyn. Ooh.
Yes.
KG Paul Pierce to Brooklyn.
1,000,000% Nick. Because that turned into Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum.
Yeah, yes. they want a ring. Even though PG to the Clippers, they got a ring too out of OKC, but Paul Pierce to Brooklyn to me is like that extended the Boston's like championship window from then till now. That's the Mikal Bridges to, we don't know what them picks gonna look like yet, but he ain't earned shit last night. I'll tell you that.
All right. What else we got? People put money up. The Cavs map both these teams. Okay. I guess whoever advances to the next round.
Those teams we were talking about putting money up for Detroit and
Orlando.
Yes.
He must be from Cleveland.
Only way.
Cleveland could get to the Eastern Conference.
Who just became a YouTube member. Appreciate it.
Appreciate that, Ray Sean.
And yeah, that's it.
Appreciate it.
Josh Bros said Iceman on the way, Ken. Don't duck the smoke.
I saw it. I wasn't gonna acknowledge it. But, seems like
hey, you can't count out Drake. He may do it.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can count him out, bro.
He may do it.
What Jay say? You got one hot album every time. I know how to do math, bro. Like Jay said in Takeover.
You just ready for him to be done with. That's what it is.
He's done with already. He done with already. I ain't got shit to do with it. He done with already.
The answer to your hate watch is you looking at Drake's career.
He done with already. I ain't got like 10 years since the hot album. It's over with.
So if Drake had a versus against Kendrick, who win it?
Drake's winning.
Yeah, Drake.
Okay.
Only people that can beat Drake in the verses are Kanye. The only person that can beat Drake in the verses is Kanye.
Kanye.
I think Drake
and Kendrick's not a good matchup anyway. They're just
it's not.
Create
Jay cannot beat Drake in the verses.
I got you.
Yeah. Anyway,
I think Jay can.
Nah.
Yeah. We'll leave it there, man. We appreciate you guys tuning in, man. NBA playoff coverage will continue. We got a lot of narratives that are shaping up, that are about play on the court and, not all this.
And the draft, NFL talk, Thursday.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm glad you said that. Damn, I'm thinking about next Tuesday. But yes, we'll be back around 9 Thursday for the draft.
It's crazy. It's crazy how many of these series are 1-1 now. Too. A lot of these games, all but like 2.
Great playoffs.
Maybe the only one down 0-2.
Yes.
Put
that money back in his wallet.
Exactly.
You like that video looking for something? Sengun was looking something in his pocket. That's gonna be
this
that
is
He put the ones right next to that passport, right there.
this is gonna be one of the best playoff runs that we done seen in a very long time.
Yes,
like, a lot of these teams match up. There's more talent. Ken, I need you to find the clip. It was a long time ago. Kyle was still on the show when I said that the NBA was going to expand because all of these young kids is coming in. They're way more ready, and we're seeing it, bro. Like they are like good to go in the first, 3 to 4 seasons. Like,
I tell you what, though, you tried to hop in that chat, act like you was the best one with the picks. I won the picks over the weekend. I'm the one that got all of them right. Mr.
You got them all right?
Watch basketball. I did.
You got them all right?
I did. Yes. Mr. You don't watch
I'm
basketball.
Glad I put the battery in your back. I appreciate you, Spike.
Oh, that's the pivot.
Right.
I made you
exactly. He got out of there real quick, Ken. He got out of there real quick.
Hey, Ken,
he was coming at us in the chat. Talking about I'm the one that picked the one. I got it right. Me.
Hey, we in sales, man.
Yeah.
I sell rain to a monsoon, my nigga. Like, I'm good.
Hey, Ken, I bet you by next. Well, we not even gotta wait till next week. By Thursday, if Orlando's up 2-0, hey, the only cash FIFA gonna push forward and bet on is Cash Doll. So everything else is.
Ken, I need you to find the footage of where I say they're gonna score 100 points in a game.
That's fine.
All right, y'all. We'll see y'all Thursday. We out. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.